Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 2 of Detective Comics' New 52 Comic Review. Now, as you know, much like Action Comics, Detective Comics were also another clean slate from the New 52 series, and was meant to be more like starting Batman up again, even though some stories acted like continuations from the old timeline. And the cover has Batman in his kind of Batmobile getting ready for action. And it starts off with Bruce Wayne rock climbing, and one of his other friends, Mr. Herder, is showing up. No apologies necessary, Mr. Wayne. In fact, no need to cut your workout short. Mind if I join you? I'll grab you a harness. Nonsense. Like Mr. Wayne, I prefer to operate without a net. So, of course, it turns out he wants to kind of work with Wayne Enterprises, then Q-Call. Now, keep in mind, Q-Call is meant to be Oliver Queen's company in Seattle. And, of course, Bruce Wayne gets word from Wendy that Charlotte Rivers wants to kind of get to know him more for her interview, who's obviously meant to kind of be a replacement to Vicky Vale. But of course, they end up slowly falling in love and awkwardly basically making out. And of course, we see how Bruce Wayne realizes later on in the night that he has to kind of quickly be at Arkham to help sort out what happened to the Joker, and plans to kind of set up their next trip. We see Bruce Wayne getting on his Batcycle to Arkham, and we see how Arkham, as well as Jim Gordon, wondering how the Joker got out in that. And even Arkham isn't pleased about his staff being interrogated, but knows that without Arkham, there's no way to hold the villains. And we see how Harvey Bullock gives Gordon some information in that, and details on another missing person case, and decides to have a smoke. And we see Batman saying, "I thought you were giving that up. I did expect when I need an excuse to step out." And we see how that he can't really show him what happened to Joker's face, but points out about the kidnapped girl Olivia, and gives details, one of which was someone posing as her uncle, and knows him as Wade Quimby, who was working with a deranged serial killer who ate his victims. And they get word that Olivia's been found, so Batman getting ready to kind of head to take on Quimby, as well as knowing Joker might be behind this somehow. So goes into the house and says, "Olivia!" And we see how Gordon goes in and wonders what happened to the other officer. As soon as he has a look, he sees that someone coming out from the boot. We see Batman going in, finds Quimby basically stabbed to death, goes in, and finds out that it's some Texas Chainsaw Massacre like wannabes wearing people's skin. And of course, they try to take on Batman, but does his best, but sadly gets sustained and knocked down by someone known as Matilda, who wants Batman's eyes. But of course, we see Bruce Wayne trying his best, but turns out the person known as Dollmaker is interested, saying, "This is the infamous Batman, Gotham's very own Caped Crusader. We don't treat him like the common rubbish we're accustomed to. No, he is special, and more than that, he's an extremely valuable collectible." "But father, I found him. Promised me I can get to work on him." But we decide that to show him his other previous work, which was Gordon, and of course says, "What have you done to him? See what the doll maker can do." And those who don't know, yeah, doll maker was also in Batman vs. Robin in a more minor role. And this is the story. So I think issue 2 had some good ideas and kind of building up to a newer Batman villain called Dollmaker, who I kind of feel is too similar to Professor Pig, but again, I know sometimes writers tend to copy off other people's work, and sometimes, yeah, there's always going to be a similar villain to the other one in some comics and media, but the issue still deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.